Rogues Passage podcast. It's getting to the point now where I don't actually remember what number this is, which is good. That means we've been at it for a bit and we're sticking to it.
Like 13.
Yeah. You might. I think this might be 13. But actually, yeah,
No, this is 12.
It will. Oh yeah. Our
It's
notes.
literally the name
say
of the
12.
notes.
We're starting off on a. I'm Tanner Cherry, and I am. This is the first time that we were doing slightly remote, so I got.
Brandon McPie here, everyone. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, and then down in this corner here.
You've got your favorite rogue Brando. Maybe not your favorite, but certainly one of the prettiest ones.
Yeah, we have the veritable Neapolitan of rogues here.
Neapolitan of rogues. I like the pink color. I bet it'd be the pink color.
Yeah. So we got tons of topics, man. We wrote down hordes of stuff to talk
see if
about.
we can get to all of them, but they're all juicy.
First one, Wizards.
Let's talk about the tournament.
No. You flat-footed me. Sorry, I was just a dramatic pause. I was gonna say, why the fuck is Crested Sunmare still not legendary? Come on, Wizards.
I mean, it is a good point. And look at that Crested Sunmare.
We need an errata.
They just had to go for the I just dropped 10 hits of acid version.
Yeah, what is this from? This says it's a secret layer drop. Yeah. For those watching on YouTube and Twitch. Wow, I didn't realize there was a rainbow version of Crested Sunmare. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Wizards, come on. Gotta rectify this. Gotta rectify this.
Why you do it?
I want. You know what? You know what's kind of funny though is I guess we really don't need Wizards to do it because there's so much Rule Zero discussion nowadays of people just being like, whatever. I'm just gonna play a partner pair that's not legal, like an illegal pairing.
Yeah.
And people record episodes with it all the time. I should just build it.
Just do it.
Actually, that'd be a fun idea for an episode. Let's just pick a card each out of Magic. We'll build a deck that's shouldn't work because obviously the commanders aren't legal. But yeah, illegal commander decks.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay, I call Crested Sunmare. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. But
Air Horse 1, buddy.
I won't be able to. Yeah, Air Horse 1. I won't be able to bitch at Wizards anymore.
I mean, you still can because then it's just hey, make it so that anybody can do this.
Yeah.
Or
inspire the
better
masses.
yet. Wizards at some point print Crested Sunmare as its own on-the-shelf commander box.
Nice.
Do a good old rotation of the mono whites. Put 5 mono white creature commander decks on the shelves. Crested Sunmare is the white. Okay.
You don't want to give any love to the other colors?
Well, I don't know what I'd really do for all the other colors. There's a lot to choose from, and I haven't put any thought into that specifically.
You're failing here.
Let's jot it down in the notes for the next one. But yeah, we should talk about the tournament. We are fresh off the heels.
Almost a week now, I think.
Yeah, over a week because it was on Sunday and it is now Tuesday. So it's been over a week. Hi, Totem. Novoboros in the chat. We hosted a tournament at First Player, the local game store that's in Calgary here. Awesome people. We did Two-Headed Giant Commander. I'm sure we've told you this many times, but now we're on the other end of it. And 2 of the episodes are up as of right now. 2 of the feature matches that we've recorded. And it was fun. It was it's interesting doing a Commander format in a competitive environment because I guess that's one of the things that I want to talk about first is that specifically I was tasked at reviewing the deck lists and making sure that none of them were too spicy.
Yes, you were in charge of making sure nothing failed.
Yeah. I think for the most part everything was good, but there was a delta of money spent on decks. There was one team that spent less than $500 on the 2 decks, and there was one team that spent almost $19,000.
Yeah, our team
not spent, but the cards
was around $3,000.
Yeah. There was a lot of money. I tallied it up. I think there was $45,000 worth of cardboard in those lists.
That's still nothing to sneeze at, but that's still nothing to really be too impressed by either in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah. But
unfortunately,
it was great. I mean, I think everything went good. It would have probably would have been let's talk about the elephant in the room. Team Firebird Collectibles. Their lists were probably half the value of the entire. It's a store owner, right?
I think it was just the best synergized team in my opinion.
Oh, dude, Nekisar and Sheoldred. I remember when I saw the lists, I was like, "Oh, that's so dirty." But I really did think about it as if it doesn't really get online until after turn 4 or whatever.
I mean, like I feel like our team did the same mechanic of like trying to lead into a really strong, fun mechanic. And what I wanted to do was basically use Sakashima and Kodama to basically copy as many Sir Conrads as I could and have a really good time with that. Yeah. And we actually did very well. Actually, the only time actually, Brandon, you were there, was for the first game where we were able to do that punishing combo. We had I think 3 or 4 copies of Sir Conrad, and then there was a field wipe on the stack, and then you guys went from 46 life to 12 or something.
I think so, something like that. You dealt like 30 something damage.
Yeah, I felt really good. But that was our only actual hurrah that entire tournament, because otherwise the rest of it, like the one win we got from it was just really savvy, smart play, and obviously the 99 really looked out for us, heart of the cards and all that. But yeah, pretty much every other game that we played, there was so much spice there that night. I'm so grateful for the talent that turned out.
Oh yeah. To that as well, Tanner, though. Yep. I guess one of the games that Team Firebird played off camera was a turn 3 win.
Well, I know that it was off camera, and I believe, Gavin, was it
Gavin
Bulge's Beatdown, their team? Yeah, they did say there was a turn 3 win, and we were kind of asking people not to play with it. It was like, it's so hard.
I mean, we also covered that there was a chance that 2 Power 8s doing it together in a Team Synergy tournament were probably going to get there, unfortunately, despite the fact that we were trying to, at least affect people or influence people enough to avoid that. At the same time, when you
I think especially for Power 8 though, there's certain cards that maybe need to be evaluated if we ever do like a Power 8. We're just like 2 teams, right? 2 teams on that kind of a level. We're just like, okay, if it's one person, like 1v1 or free for all, something like a Jeweled Lotus probably doesn't make that much of a difference. A turn 1 Shoulder the Apocalypse with the Jeweled Lotus, like that's just guaranteed gonna happen if that's in your command zone and you pull the Jeweled Lotus.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What's wrong with a turn 1 Shoulder the Apocalypse? That makes me hard.
Don't get me wrong, that's an amazing play in a Power 8 level setting. That's not a Power 8 level play.
Anyone who effectively dancing with my bay correctly gets me going. Children for life.
Children fan club over here.
But then to that, Brady, what your favorite spell of the month? Annul. Is it just power? Is it just CMC 1?
Yeah, or CMC 1.
Let's bring it up.
Counters target artifact or enchantment, and it's
okay. So Jeweled Lotus will get right past it.
We did for all of them. Yeah, because I and you were there. At least it wasn't with Annul, but I got to counter a turn 1 Mana Crypt with a mental misstep.
No, dude, that was us.
So
you did that to Wingbeard.
Yeah.
No, Brady, that was me that you did that to Wingbeard.
No, that's what I'm saying. I got to counter it during that game. It felt good. It felt really good.
Yeah, it felt good.
Absolutely. Well, that would have been a turn 3 Shurkai apparently. So.
Oh yeah.
If not sooner.
So what? Looking at Shurkai, actually, I'm not really familiar with that card and like its play patterns.
It's very.
What is the upside? Like
spicy.
Why? Can you explain why? I will apologize now if I cough and if this stupid lozenge in my throat makes noise on this
honestly,
camera.
I'm gonna leave that to Brennan. Brennan understood it a lot better. I've piloted against it more than I've never played the card personally. I know it does a lot of really cool combos, and it can potentially win very, very early in the game. But
how do you spell it? Shurikai? There it is.
SH. Yeah, there you go. Shurikai.
Yep. You're probably watching on
the thing that makes it strong is that it's not a creature right out the gate. While it is an artifact, and there's a lot of artifact removal, having your commander be able to come out as an artifact and not a creature, I think makes it very powerful in a lot of ways. Especially because you don't have to wait for its ability, right? There's so much, especially in blue, of dropping artifact costs, and Wingbeard abused the heck out of that as much as he could of bringing down the cost of Shurikai. But for you to be able to drop Shurikai through whatever amount of mana that you have, kind of thing, you drop him to pay 1, tap, draw 2 cards, discard a card, and you create a creature. That's an incredibly powerful ability. And in a Azorius kind of deck where you're probably facing a lot of card draw and a lot of stacks, that's free real estate. That's just free real estate.
Yeah. Nothing bad with free real estate. Yeah. So, I mean, tournament was a grand success, right? We were able to live stream it. I mean,
the anxiety was not getting the right internet quality.
Yeah,
and then we got it, and they were like, "Woo!"
Yeah, right. Last minute, we got patched through to the main line, And oh geez, let me get back here. Yeah, it was super fun. It was we actually like I left like 75 minutes for each round kind of thing. And then like 25 minutes in between or whatever. Way too much time. For the power level that we were doing, like every single round of the tournament was compressed, and we were out of there like an hour and a half or an hour and 45 earlier is what we wrapped up. Which, I mean, damn, like people came slinging.
Yeah, games were done fast, and then we were like pretty much always ahead of time. Then we just basically on the spot started adjusting our times, and it felt good. It felt so good.
Yeah.
Like I
think it was only one game, one round. I can't remember whose team it was, or what teams there were. There was one game that like made it to the 15 or like 10-minute mark, and that was the longest game. Or I think that was actually the last round. They recorded the last recorded round.
I think the longest game, was the last round between the two best decks.
I will say there was one.
Everybody else.
There was one round where I was running around and I kept looking, and like Brandon, you had your little phone sitting there with the timer, like the round timer, and I think it was on the table, and I kept looking at it, and I kept kind of checking in. I think there was one round where I didn't realize that like everybody had finished their matches, just nobody was reporting. Yeah. And next time I was just like, man, like, I mean, like especially you guys, if you guys were done, like maybe like run around and collect the information. It went like 10 minutes to the timer, and I was like, nobody's reporting their matches.
Not really.
Well, I think part of the reason why was the first two rounds, everybody was. Or like the first 2 or 3 rounds, everybody was reporting their matches. Yeah. And then it kind of came down to that one, and it's like all of the games were over quickly. There was still so much time left. Everybody like knew who had won, kind of thing. But I remember when we completed that game, because we were one of the teams that finished pretty dang quick. I came over to the table to kind of check, and it's like the main game was going on, and I didn't want to walk behind the desk to disrupt, like walk in the camera kind of thing. And that's why it's like, oh, okay, no, Tanner's busy. The game's still going on. Because I was going to report our win. And then I think there was one other team that I was going to report at the time, and it just turned into just like, oh no, I don't want to overstep. I don't want to walk into the recording if I don't need to.
Yeah, the initial plan was to use the app that Wizards provides, like the companion app for tournament stuff. Yeah, and that would have left it in everybody else's hands to do their own reporting or whatever. But yeah, I don't. That we ended up using challenge.com. It was fantastic.
Spice challenge.
Yeah, we'll use again.
It's been used. Like I've got a bunch of friends that throw regular like LAN party / like in warehouse like gaming tournaments, usually fighting games, and that's their bread and butter. Every year it's 30 different rosters on that website all going simultaneously.
Yeah. All right. So what can we? I mean, we're coming back. We're gonna do another one.
Yeah.
Look out for Rite of Passage episode 2.
Episode 2, and I do believe we can announce it now. Probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, I believe we talked about this. We're thinking of doing Pauper. Right? We're thinking of doing 1v1. We talked about this with Brandon. Yeah, we haven't solidified this yet, but we were thinking maybe doing like a 1v1 format for the next one. And then I don't know how many players do we cap it at, and we'll see how much.
I think that'll be one to contend with. Depending, it'll have to be store maximum probably. I really do want it to be at Phoenix Comics. And honestly, this will be a lot easier for people to join because Pauper is affordable. You could really do anything you want. You could obviously like source a deck style that you want to do, but otherwise, sky's the limit for if you want to show up with your own custom brew.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I can't wait to like compare the price of all of the decks of like all the teams from this last one was like $45,000 worth of cardboard.
Tops is gonna be like $500.
Yeah, and then like a Pauper tournament, it's like
it's a foiled out deck. It'll be the foiled out deck with a certain print of cards, and that'll be the one like let's say I went with my Pauper deck, which is Infect, and that's at least $100 at least for the 4 Blighted Agents.
Yep.
So
yeah, those Blighted Agents, foil Blighted Agents are pricey.
Yeah.
Same with the foil Arboreal Grazers.
Are they really?
Get it. It's like a 30-cent card, and then the foil is like $12.
Strange.
Or it might have changed, but
Pauper,
it was like
that
a while ago.
It's Pauper and foiling.
Pauper.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure actually your Arboreal Grazer gets played in other formats.
Well, it's amazing.
Oh, it's a great card.
I have drops the land immediately, and it's a defender.
Right before we were doing this, I was playing Arena. I've got my mono green historic brawl deck. Yeah, it's in there. The amount of turn ones is just like, oh hey, turn 1 is 2 lands. Turn 2 is 3 or 4 because it's mono green ramp. Oh,
I had 5 mana 1 turn. It was a Soul Ring, or sorry, whatever land it was, into a Soul Ring, into an Arcane Signet, into an Arboreal Grazer. I felt like a god.
Yeah.
I was I swear my deck was it was Tawnos the Toymaker, and it was just bulk. But I happened to have good artifacts and some synergies already going on in the deck, even though the rest of the deck list was pretty weak. And I felt, with Tawnos' ability of copying every beast and bird that I cast, but he basically conceded after 5 turns. Like, I don't have the win. He's like, that doesn't matter, man. Like, look at what you have. I was like, yeah. I apologize.
Yeah. All right. What do we want to go into next?
Start.
Or do we want to say anything in closing about the tournament?
Well, honestly, there's a bit more we could talk about the tournament. There was a lot of amazing plays. I'm really grateful that my expectations for team synergy was met. There really was. Even some of the teams that didn't get to shine, the games that they played independently outside of the official matches were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see a lot of really
the feature
cool
match.
combos. Yeah, outside of all the feature matches, I saw a lot of cool combos, and everyone was pretty chipper. There was obviously with Team Firebird Collectibles making some waves, even though they didn't win. I want to point this out to everyone listening right now. They did not win the tournament.
Yeah, shout out to Demonic Pack Support Group. You guys rocked it.
Yeah, so very specific. As much as they were feared, and I think this will, because Shieldred was one of the commanders, I feel like this will bleed into some of the things we might talk today, which is net decking, and also proxies, as well as just conduct and rule 0. Because Shieldred is one of those cards, one of my absolute favorite creatures, period. Every version of her I adore, but she turns so many heads and makes people salty immediately before she's even played.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot to suggest about why maybe the team, even though I saw the list itself, I do approve. I think they just happen to be the best synergized. But it turned out that this stack, especially in the last game, they just there are a lot of variables as to why they didn't win.
Well, I mean, they were going for the throat like turn after turn, and the guys from Demonic Pack Support Group just had the interaction.
Yep, 100%. And that was it was like
yeah.
So
even our game against them, I think I kind of screwed up because we were already not looking good in terms of life totals and their synergies popping off. But I had the counter spell in hand. I had the other counter spell in hand, and it was just like left up to just like, okay, no, I'm gonna play my commander. I think we're maybe safe here for a turn. And it just turned into like, oh, no more open mana. Here comes 2 wheels after a shoulder dropped. And I'm like, oh, that'll do it. Yep. Should have held up those counter spells.
And even since the tournament, we saw some metas that I wasn't expecting to see, frankly. Like, when we tried to do the tournament a while ago, we tried to take away blue, and people's response was land destruction. So this time, it was a similar nuance of I wasn't expecting some of these things. So what I was not expecting was extra turns and extra combats. So extra anything in a 2-headed giant format is the strongest, period. And there was only a few of the decks that actually relied upon that. Baldur's Beatdown's original, because there was a bit of a mishap, unfortunately, with Gavin's teammate. He had a bail last minute, but understandably. And they were going to do Karlak, Fury of Avernus, and Wilson, I think it was, and that was going to be.
Jeez, I should be getting these cards. How do you spell Karlak?
Karlak is Karlach. Fury of Avernus, Avernus.
Fury of Avernus. Here we go. We're gonna hit over here.
So pretty much this is as a companion. This would have been, I think, one of the actual winning decks. I love the concept. Red just ramping out hard. I'm not sure what the background was. It may have just been mono red extra turns, but honestly, with whatever the background could have been, there's a lot of really good juice you can make when it comes to Karlach. And then we all know Gavin's Wilson deck, which turn 3 can actually also win depending on the circumstances. All it needs is double strike and some other just the way that Gavin's played it before. You can just get it really Voltron very, very, very fast.
Wilson.
So that was going to be their thing, and they were just going to go for very simple compounded 1-2 combo, utilizing just extra turns as well as big beefy bitch punches to the face, and that would have been amazing to honestly see. But instead, it was they actually got more wins than our team does. Tyson was able to come in for the tournament. Bless you, Tyson. Thank you so much again for doing that. And he was playing Ishai and Elsior, which originally actually from my first birthday tournament that I did a while ago. He was my team, same deck basically, essentially. and
Elsier was the one that.
Elsier is the one that gives Ward 3.
Yeah, it's the one that you were playing as well.
It's the one I was playing.
And Tyson was able to do a lot of obviously Zorius control while Gavin did all the beatdown stuff. So that was amazing to hear, at least, because I was worried. When you go into a tournament and your teammate, understandably has to bail on you, and it's out of your hands, and you have to kind of completely reframe yourself again with somebody else that you're not necessarily familiar with. Like, they're friends, but like playing together, that whole thing. There wasn't a lot of history there, so. They were able to kick more ass than our team did, unfortunately. Team Hellfire and Brimstone, though, we had fire and style, and oh man, I was still vibing that night at least.
I know. It was a pleasure to
kicked outrageously well, and it was at least cool after in hindsight. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, it was a very good matchup. Your decks were very complimentary, and it was a lovely wonder to steal your commanders and use it against you.
Yeah, you got to ulti Tevesh Zot, and bro, that was nobody saw it coming.
Yeah,
Can we turn this
no,
It was broken.
It was so broken.
Okay, well, that's pretty much all I have to add, honestly. There was
tournament was
props
dope.
to everyone turning out to our tournament. Honestly, you made it happen for us, so bless you. Seriously.
Indeed.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. You were
special
formidable opponents, and we're excited to see you in the next ones. And again, shout out to Steven and Jocelyn at First Player.
Thank you
y'all
so
are
much.
the real MVPs. Thank you so much. We're excited to work with you more in the future, and keep it up. You guys are killing it.
Hell yeah. All right, so what's our next point of discussion?
Oh yeah,
Dun,
Mike
dun,
just
dun.
Demonic Pack Support Group did 7 extra turns, 1 game.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how you win. You just take everyone else's turns.
That's using your creativity,
Just
nerve,
take everyone else's turn.
creativity,
All right,
uniqueness, nerve, and talent to the max there.
I think let's steer into a little bit more of a fun topic here, and let's do the let's talk about a certain bauble.
Yeah, I saw where you're clicking there on the document.
Oh, the Wayfarer. How
Actually, here I'll bring this up. Way.
So just while he pulls this up, just for anybody who hasn't heard it already, there's a big debacle recently where is it a secret lair Wayfarer's bauble, or
it's
just
the commander version of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan or whatever? I got it on screen here.
It features that background. So like that character in the front isn't the issue. It's the background is stolen art.
Yeah.
There was
the
some
entire
hard
left
plagiarism.
side of it. I do believe the entire.
No, it's the entire background.
Oh, is it
The entire background is someone else's painting, and then he painted. So actually, I wonder if I can find
the article.
David, what was it? David Sundred.
That's the artist that did it.
Sundred?
Yeah. But anyway,
It was probably overworked. Who knows?
He was, but I want to say that his response was absolute horseshit.
Oh, really?
And he will never do another Magic card for the rest of his career. I'm positive, because
he's been kicked off.
He got suspended.
I mean, that's a blacklist almost.
It
Wouldn't that be
is
a blacklisting kind of thing?
It is, but you know what you don't do is make an apology that's basically like, "Screw you guys, I do this for all my paintings."
Yikes.
He basically said, like, I always start with other people's work, and then like at a certain point, I'll change some things. But he's like, I guess I didn't really change enough on this one. And it was like, he basically just torpedoed his career.
I mean,
that is how you absolutely douche your career.
Yeah. Like there's one thing about like Bob Rossing it where it's just like, okay, hey, I'm going to like follow their structure. I'm going to like try and emulate it. I'm going to create something that's like visually the same. But that's very different from, I'm going to take this piece of art and I'm just going to basically just draw over it. It is the other person's art. I'm just a little extra twig here so that I can say it's mine. That's no.
Yeah, it's too bad. It happened before with I want to say it was an Ugin.
Oh, I remember. I think it was.
Or it was a dragon of some kind, and somebody. It was a card that came out, and then it was, of course, after the printing hit the shelves, and then the other artist was like, "Excuse me," like, and then there was like they admitted. I don't know. He's trying to bring it up right now. It's not the original art for Ugin or anything.
Crux of Fate.
Oh, Crux of Fate. That's what it was. Here, let me look this up.
Oh, that's interesting. We played it with the game that just went live on the channel. Go check it out. I guess you're watching this after the fact. on YouTube. Go check it out anyways. Round 2.
There we go.
All of the rounds of Rite of Passage. We faced a Crux of Fate.
Yeah, so we got the same
one?
note here on Scryfall. We got Crux of Fate's Mystical Archives from Strixhaven. And it says cart art incorporated Ugin art by Raymond Swanland and fan art by Scary Pet. So this one was like, it basically got into print, and then the guy was like, you stole my Ugin. And, it's Ugin and Bolus.
Oh,
beating
yeah,
each other senseless
that,
on this Crux of Fate.
That's unfortunate because this art is actually spectacular. I love this.
Illustrated by Jason Felix. Likely also probably suspended without, no hope. You're probably not gonna. It sucks, man. Like, and I know that actually this guy, Jason Felix, he did say, he was like, man, I'm just overworked. I'm so overworked that I need help here and there. Mm-hmm. But, and like, obviously, man, it's one thing for us to point fingers or whatever. Like, we don't know what it's like to be medium artists like this. I know that it probably happens a lot more than you think. People like plagiarizing each other's work just to get a head start. It sucks. Like, honestly, do that if, like, I heard this point earlier. Go ahead and do that. If you're painting something that's going to be in your friend's hallway. Yeah. But when you're painting something that's going to be printed in the millions and played by, like, people in a TCG that's the biggest card game in the world, maybe don't plagiarize those ones. Bad call. Someone's going to find out.
Somebody's going to find out. And that's exactly where it becomes legal problems too, because it's like, how many people have funny recreations of the Mona Lisa just hanging around, or of like Picasso's weird art that they've done? Like, you have all realm as an artist to emulate, to recreate, to plagiarize. It's as soon as you start trying to do it to like make it off as specifically your own work, or if you're trying to make money off of it. That's the issue.
Did you guys hear about the artist who famously won an award for that AI painting?
Oh yeah.
And then so get this.
That was an experiment though, right?
No, I don't believe it was. I think it was something that backfired, or maybe it was an experiment. I can't remember. But he tried to then copyright it, and they were like, no, like that whole debacle. Because like, what do you expect from this? You prat.
Dude, things are about to get weird. I heard some shit about how the engines, like the AI engines that people are using to make AI art, are the golden age is behind us, apparently, because apparently now that the amount of art that's being churned out of these AI generators, like these things, the amount of art that's being created digitally through AI art generation is now flooding the internet so much that they're now gathering reference from their own creations type thing. Yep. Which is like diluting the quality, and eventually it's just going to make no sense.
Like, I actively use DeviantArt, and it's become an issue of like, there's so many awesome artists who have just tried to use it as experimental and have unfortunately started leaning into it of just like, oh, all of this art that I'm making with AI is just getting clicked on so much more, all of this. And it's like, there's a serious level of just like some of the first stuff, almost like the background behind me. I don't think this is AI generated. It might be. It's from Discord.
Oh, is that Discord doing that?
It's Discord doing that. But it's like, it went from like landscapes like that to like, oh, all of the buildings are jank and all of this, and people are passing it off because it's like, oh, it's still just getting so much more clicks and like being liked and favored it all so much more. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's not a healthy precedent.
Yeah. Well, so don't plagiarize people's art, especially if you have a come on, like if you're a fantasy artist and you have a contract with Wizards of the Coast, don't fuck that up. Yeah, that's the egg. That's the nurture. Yeah. You don't fuck that up.
Yeah, that's my dream. Or one of my dreams. I want to make art for them. I'd love to have something I've made on an actual Magic card.
Michael Boyer says there's a difference between image generation and art generation. Yeah, that's for sure. It is, man, 10 years, 10 years ago, nobody was thinking about this.
No.
Nobody. And now, like, I have a 2-year-old. The world that he has to grow up in. And AI art.
Rebecca Gay is my favorite Magic artist. You know what? One of my absolute as well. Heck yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Pungus in the chat. Rebecca Gay. Definitely some of the, well, actually, is it Guay? Now, will that come up with, I want artist Rebecca. Right. Anyway, we should, yes. Can we, we got the thing. Sorry guys, this is our first time doing
So what are we doing?
at the computer.
Like live search
Yeah,
stuff.
next topic. Oh yeah, you want to talk?
Well, I think the next direction, if we're talking about art specifically, sorry to steamroll you boys there, is other art that's kind of tickled our nerves in the wrong direction. The Jurassic Park secret lairs.
Oh god, yeah. Let me pull this shit up.
I'm not as affected as you boys.
Well, you know what?
I grew up with that kind of like, I still remember some of the merchandise for Jurassic Park, and just like some of the imagery from the secret lairs actually is akin to that. So it's like that kind of dated 90s, like Hollywood theme art that I just appreciate.
See, Brady, that's not the issue. The issue
is okay. Also, can we
shout out to that?
Shout out to this locust god that what is it? 10 o'clock? Oh fuck! Did I miss? I guess there was a 10% off thing we could have got. Might already be done. Oh, it should. Yeah, I think we missed the 10%.
Okay. What am I missing here?
What are you missing? Let's. How do I bring these up properly so that I can see them?
Scroll down.
Oh, scroll down. Yeah, there's. So Brady. I'm going to show you this one.
Pose me. Throw it at me.
Tyrannosaurus Rex is Itali, Primal Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Itali is a Spinosaurus. Clearly. Now, you want to know what pisses me off even more? The Spinosaurus card is Regisaur Alpha, which is clearly a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yep.
Now, you'd think that this might have been a mistake, but then you realize that they did this maliciously because the Triceratops is Wayward Sword Tooth. The herbivore is the Sword Tooth.
This is a pretty big fail.
We're not even done. Okay, Rampaging Ferocidon is the only one that I think is good, right? It's a Velociraptor. I think Rampaging Ferocidon was a Velociraptor. Right?
It's a raptor of type, yeah.
All right, Brady, you want to tell me what's wrong with
Indominus Rex?
With Indominus Rex?
Well,
first of all,
it's
Polyraptor. And it costs
which is a green
6
card.
Green and green.
Yeah, that's the first thing I picked out. I was like, why are you doing this? Okay,
that looks like a blue card to me, does it not?
It's so blue.
It's a mono green card, printed in all blue. We're not even done. These are the 5. These are the 5 in the secret layer. Now, if we go back here to what is it?
The Colossal Dreadmaw.
Colossal Dreadmaw. Let's go find the secret layer of fucking Brachiosaurus. The long neck.
Somebody in management was getting really, really fucking high.
Yeah, you guys are high. Look at every other printing of Colossal Dreadmaw.
Why would you reprint Colossal Dreadmaw? Is there actually any merit to this card right now?
Oh, Colossal Dreadmaw is going to be printed 50,000 times by the time they're done. They love this card.
Oh yeah.
Why?
But look, is that not a vicious Tyrannosaurus Rex of some kind?
I don't care about any of this anymore. Why is this card important?
Why did Colossal Dreadmaw get printed as Brachiosaurus wizards?
What I think it was, and I think it's the stupidest move. I love the art. That's it. That's all I think they specifically were given 2 things. They were said, okay, these are the card arts. We need to feature like the mascot species of the Jurassic Park franchise. That's not a problem. The Italian Tyrannosaurus Rex is the most egregious of them because why not make Itali the Spinosaurus?
No, you know how like sometimes people do marketing, they do things to just rile people up so that it generates
these apples
interaction.
Are oranges. These oranges
chaos marketing.
Are apples.
Now one thing I know. Okay, so Pungus in chat, he's saying I just got the permission denied card. It's Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, so Samuel L. Jackson, because he was in the first Jurassic Park, he is now illustrated on a Magic card.
Yep.
But the even better thing, I don't know what card it is.
So it's like the only one with the actual.
It is
accurate. Has anyone noticed that? Has anyone want to talk about that? It's like the only one who's been given any proper, Sorry, actually, Ian Malcolm. That's.
No, this is. Here we go.
Is on the no, but then
here we go.
Lab man.
I gotta go.
Tassiger.
The Tassiger. We got actual, factual.
Hey man, Banana Man's actually holding his banana. I'm happy about this. Yeah.
Like, it is a real card, right?
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Ian Convalescent Charmer. This is a reskin of Tassiger, the Golden Fang, kind of like the Godzilla treatment stuff. Yeah, we actually have the sexy Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park pose on a Magic card forever.
Hell yeah.
I mean, so
I'm all for it.
There are good things about this Jurassic Park thing going on, which, I mean, I thought I'd be more excited about Jurassic Park because I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was little, because I went and saw Jurassic Park in theaters.
Same.
And I was obsessed with dinosaurs, as my 2-year-old is now.
I was
Same.
I remember seeing that shit in theaters. I was a child,
Yeah,
but
I still am. As soon as they printed Ixalan, like the first Ixalan, I went out of my way. I made sure to get all of the big beefies. I've got Gishath, I've got Zakama, I've got the other, like I've got the verdant avatars of green, red, and white.
I love
dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park 2 in theaters. Sorry.
Yeah, I saw Jurassic Park 2 in theaters as well. It was. I mean, that one's good.
I was like 3 years old, I think, when the first one came out, like 92.
Yeah.
93.
The biggest.
Yeah, I would have been like, yeah.
Yeah. The biggest fail, I think, when it comes to the secret lairs is the verdant avatars would have represented the secret lairs that they put out there. Because the green one, Brontosaurus. The white one, Triceratops.
Oh, you're right.
And the red one, it's another T-Rexy motherfucker. Like, you had all the ability.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but like, especially the Itali. I mean, Itali's clearly depicted as a Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Type animal. Of course, it's not Earth, right? It's Ixalan. But Colossal Dreadmouth certainly wasn't a fucking Brachiosaurus.
No. They were too obsessed with whether they could that they didn't stop to think of whether or not they should.
Quality Jurassic Park quote. You get props for that.
Always, buddy.
Props.
Always. I've watched all those movies into the dust.
All right, now that we've shamed Wizards enough, twice in one podcast.
Should we start shaming the players?
Yeah, let's shame
This is something that we've been tiptoeing around, actually, is the very public shaming of net decking. I got it right. Second time now. I'm very proud of myself. I keep saying deck decking. Well, yes, but no, but yes. Yeah, no, honestly, it's why? Why is anybody out there making grief over someone playing to the best of their ability, honestly? I mean, there's not a lot of people who have the means to creatively create their own decks, unfortunately, but they still love the gameplay, you know? It's like,
I think that's
why everyone is like, you don't develop video games, then you shouldn't be
a gamer.
Yeah, like
Yeah. No, I wrote that in there originally because I think it was more so in reference to the conversation about the Pioneer decks last time or whatever, where like for instance, this December 9th, face to face, we're gonna come down, we're gonna be there. If there's like a Pioneer challenge, I'm definitely gonna play again. And then you guys were saying that you wanted to play, but you were like, instead of playing like a net deck, like let's play homebrews or whatever. And I think I put that in there just being like, well, like, you know, I just don't understand why people are resistant to playing a list that they didn't make. And like, I feel like it just holds them back from enjoying the game in whole.
And or why is it even an insult?
Well,
how is it even an insult?
I've played in the past, you know, or not even my personal experiences. I'll say like what I've seen just like on friggin' forums and shit on the internet is people just being like, oh, well, you only won because you got that list from the internet, or you net decker this, and it just it's like, I just see it as like so strange. Because
I mean, what it is it's like all hobbies, like all art forms, like everything, it's gatekeeping.
Yes,
it's somebody. It's just like, there's no other term for it. It's just gatekeeping. It's some people have a way that they like to play a game or that they like to do something, and that's not a problem. But then, as with very human fashion, we like to say that the way that we do things is the only right way to do things. And anybody who does things differently from us,
it is a matter of perspective.
Yeah, so here's my absolute verbatim take on this. This is my own writing here. Self-educating comes in whatever mode you need to succeed as a deck builder. Making it deliberately hard for yourself makes no sense when there are plenty of reference tools to achieve better deck construction. And if that's what you like doing, then literally all the power to you. Like, you know, it doesn't make sense to actually, I don't know. We're talking about humanity at the end of the day. And one of my core philosophies in life is includes magic. You know, it's so perfectly human that how people play and communicate in the game is indicative of their very character. And you can try to argue me this away for like, you can try to argue me as much as you want, and I will disagree. This is one of the most human games ever created. The actual human psychology goes into it in every second of it. Unless you just want to put on a mask and just lie, like, you're putting way too much effort in being a psychopath at that point. But
yeah, go play Jumpstart. Jeez.
Yeah.
I want to there's for like months and months I actually had to leave. What?
Props to Mike's little statement there. That's lovely.
What, 100% gatekeeping, NASCAR drivers don't build the cars. Yeah, hell yeah.
Bam.
Right? You got people that are purpose-built drivers and
boys.
people in the pits. But anyway, so I had to leave a Magic group on my Facebook or whatever, social media, because I was just getting too furious with like how immature people were. It was a Magic the Gathering arena players group or something was the thing. And I got to say, ever since Magic Arena ported to mobile, there is a whole subset of degenerate, like childish mobile gamers that came to Magic, and they were the mobile gamers that will screenshot every little interaction and then go to social media, post that screenshot, and then like bitch about that person and be like, "Oh, screw you because you're doing this," blah blah. And it's like, dude, tell it to the person you're playing against. We don't care,
but
you know?
That's the thing, Tanner. They can't.
Wait.
They can't. They hope. They're fishing. They're hoping to the best of their ability that their absolutely superbly, cropped image will do the damage that they couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, part of that too, Brady. You're absolutely right. I think it's a little both sides of they're either bitching because they think it's going to make them feel better, or they're bitching because it's somehow going to make them more popular on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing, and this is another shout out
look.
to you Wizards, with you not listening. I get trying to keep Arena safe in the context of what you can communicate to your opponent, but God,
not having chat.
I give us like a dialogue tree to say instead of just hello, your turn, oops, good game. Like give me 15 options so that I can actually like string something together.
I think, in my honest opinion, only one fucking option. Okay, good game. Period.
Oh, dude, the harassing.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah, shout out to we got Drake here in the chat. Thumbprint.
Hey, baby.
He says if net decking was bad, then MTG Arena was the worst thing that could have happened. Yeah, dude.
Kind of.
Well, not only that, you can go to MTG Goldfish and right click a deck list and just like paste it in, but there's people that the thing is like this Facebook group that I was a part of briefly. It was just like 30% of every post, like every post was just, oh, I'm playing against this deck again. Like, be original. Why are you playing this list? Like, oh my God, just another person playing this list. And it's like, all right, like how much do you feel that you can impose what other people are like, how they play or how they interface with the game? And that's the thing, like mobile gaming, Magic, Arena, like you're so many layers removed from sitting across the table from a real human being that like the way that people act, the way that people carry themselves is so weird.
It's really hard to not be petulant, especially when you have trauma. And there's a lot of people out there who are probably butthurt for many, many reasons. And then all of a sudden, the actual issue isn't with Magic the Gathering at all. But like, what are they going to do? Like, especially when they're playing Arena, they can't communicate to their opponent just how much their feelings were hurt. Like, this isn't that kind of game.
So in that regard, like Magic Online did have a chat window.
Yeah.
And so Magic Arena, they got rid of it for a reason. There was people getting harassed.
The human spirit can be found there.
And that's exactly my point. That's why I didn't say give us like the ability to type into chat. I know how toxic. I know how toxic that's gonna be.
Yo,
give me more.
Give us the dialogue tree from Fallout or something, right? Like,
if at the very least give me emojis or something, so that when somebody does something, when I get countered for the 4th time in a row just trying to cast a spell, at least give me an angry face that I can slap on screen. We're just like,
you can't get those, hey? You have to pay for them. They're stickers.
Arena.
Yeah, they're emoji stickers, and you can emote with stickers, but you got to buy them.
I don't like that.
You got to buy the packages.
Back in my day, we sent hateful messages with carrier pigeons.
Yeah, back in my day,
they just shit on your windows. Yeah.
Back in my day, we just egged their windows. Yeah, Thumbprint said solving the meta went from weeks to hours. That is so true. It's actually crazy because they've stopped doing it now, but there was a time where they were releasing the set basically on Arena before the set came out in paper. And because of that, like, people were solving the meta before people went to the fucking pre-release to play with the cards, which the pre-release was supposed to be that event where you go to the store and you play with the cards before release. It's the first time you get to play with the cards. But it was releasing on Arena before that. So it was like, it was weird. People were like,
you can buy emojis on Arena. The fuck is that? That's bullshit.
Yep.
You should not buy, like, really pay to win to communicate.
well, that's not pay to win. Your emojis don't.
You're paying into, sorry, pay to. That to me is pay to win. It's like, well, I'm paying so I can communicate.
I don't know.
mean,
I have no problem
you
with
know what?
cosmetics costing money because you don't need them.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm going to say I kind of agree. The emojis shouldn't cost money because one thing and one thing only. The amount of games I've won on Arena because I just hit that good game button when I know I've lost and the person just auto concedes because they're like, they think I've got some secret plan. And it's like, no, dude, I'm saying you beat me. And they're just like, oh God, he's about to board wipe me and win. No. Like,
it's crazy how easy people are to, like, at the end of the day, when you're not faced with like that unspoken obligation of not just scooping on a second, like, yeah, with Arena, you could just bow out. And like the percentage of people out there who are really badass players, but they're largely, their numbers are skewed because of the amount of people who just, I don't know, see one island and say no.
No, I played mono blue in standard right now on Arena. Sorry, everybody.
Hey,
Sorry,
you
everybody.
are the enemy.
But
you are the enemy.
the amount of games I win just from like turn 1 island go, turn 2 island counter their first spell, or like even just turn 1 spell pierce or whatever, insta concede. Just people are like, no, and you know what? Like, I sort of respect if you're playing on a mobile and you're playing on a game that, like, let's say like Arena is like free to play. There's technically you're not losing anything by conceding, right? So there's some people that are just like, I don't want to spend my next 7 minutes like this. I just don't. I'm just going to cycle into another game. I want to play against Jund or whatever, right? And in a way, it's just like, cool. Like, if you don't mind handing me the win, I get to my daily wins quicker. It's just, it's funny, like, just that 2 islands can best an opponent.
Before we move too far off of, because we've already kind of drifted away from the net deck talk.
I think we covered it, eh?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to add like a little piece before we drift fully away from it.
Yes.
Yeah, I put in the notes that I compared like decking, and it's not just net decking; it's the whole concepts of like building decks in Magic. Because me and Brady are mostly commander players, and Brady more so than myself, but the both of us as well are very brew heavy. We love to look through our collection. We love to riffle through our cards. I compared brewing decks in any format to Lego, where it's like you buy a set of Lego, right? You buy a set of Lego. It comes with a picture of a shark on the box. The net deck kind of side of that is you build the shark that's on the box. It comes with an instruction manual. It looks pretty. Somebody's mind went into making sure all the pieces connected and did all of this. And that's awesome because so many people will take those kind of like sets, put them on their mantles as actual decorations. Like, there is still an appreciation and an art form to using any like net decked brews. Like, I don't get where that gatekeepy sense comes from. But tandem to that too, it's like always the shout out, always the kudos to the people who go through the realm of like, I don't want to use somebody else's idea. I want to see what crazy nonsense I can come up with.
Yeah.
Like, they walk the same line, and the fact that anybody shames anybody for playing a game where there is near infinite, but still not infinite combos. Like, how many decks are playing a Sol Ring, eh?
Yeah. I mean, all the precons.
Every single one of my decks.
Exactly.
So
shamefully
in post, like, if different people interface with the game you play differently, don't shit on them for not playing your way.
Yeah. It's called Magic the Gathering, not Magic the I'm upset because you built something different.
It's called Magic the Poop Throwing in 2023. Come on.
Magic the Poop Throwing.
The poop throwing.
I want to get that on the back of a Magic card.
Oh yeah, I just have this written down. I know this will take literally 30 seconds of your time. So the Final Fantasy set, I'm very excited for this coming out. It's probably more than a year and a half away or something, right? But we were talking about like, what would the serialized 1 of 1 ring be? For there's people talking about it now. They're like, oh, is it going to be like, are the serialized soul ring type things like the secondary serialized stuff? Are they going to be like Phoenix Downs? Are they going to be like? Because it's probably got to be something that spans through all of the different Final Fantasy games rather than just one. But I was like, man, I can't remember if we came up with this together or who said it, but what if they did? And Wizards, you can go ahead and take this if you want. Instead of doing the 1 of 1 ring serialized, do the serialized 1 of 1 wing. Sephiroth's 1 wing.
Oh, Tanner. Oh.
Do it.
He was up late last night telling himself over the idea.
I can picture in my mind how tickled he was when he came
Oh
up
man,
with that.
I should just make this. I should make like an altar or something.
They won't know unless you try.
Actually, altering a 1 ring to be the 1 wing. That would actually be pretty badass. Yo, I don't know if you guys know this, but Ryan from the Commander Cookout podcast, shout out to the Commander Cookout guys. You guys are fucking amazing. I had no idea until I joined their Discord and like their Patreon that Ryan is a very talented card alterist. And he does, I should actually bring this up.
Ooh.
I'm going to see if I can find it over here. I don't want to bring up their Discord right on this, but CCO Ryan alters. He does some pretty impressive. Is this his stuff? Da-da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, you would. I'm not signed into Twitter. Here we go. I'm doing it live.
It's a hellscape anyways.
Let's see. I'm trying to bring this up. Don't tell me this is Twitter too.
It's probably.
Yeah, here we go. I think. Yeah, Ryan's Altered Art cards. Are you into 100% hand-painted Magic cards? Check out our Facebook page every Thursday afternoon. They just puts these up for bid. He does hand-painted altars. He does commissions and stuff. And I had no idea he did that. And I mean, he's really good. So if anybody...
It looks mid.
It looks mid. Man. All right. Okay, we're moving off that. I just wanted to shout out some fellow content creator homies. We'll just get Jeff Goldblum up on the monitor here for Brady to stare at.
Yeah.
What we've been recording for an hour.
Yeah.
How many more topics do we want to get into? Oh yeah, actually this one at the top here. This is one that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I was confused on that. I read that and I kind of talked to Brady about it. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to hear.
Vocalize
what you
now.
mean by
Extrapolate.
I shall vocalize my topic here that I jotted down while at work one day. So Commander was originally made, like the inception of Commander was like, let's make Singleton and let's make the decks 100 cards. And this is for the express purpose of creating a format that was high variance, right? So that the same shit wasn't happening all the time.
Yeah.
Good intentions. But in the end, after all these years, there's so many different redundant versions of all of cards. Like, we'll talk about Doubling Season. You've got Parallel Lives, you've got Annoyed Procession, you've got Mondrak, you've got this.
You've got the white one out of Ixalan that triples. Well, that one triples.
Yeah. Well, you've got token doublers, token triplers. Basically, what I'm like, I feel like the 100 card thing, it's sort of like annoying because people just aim to put the same percentage of effects in their deck to have the same percentage of draw effects, the same percentage of ramp effects as a 60 card deck would have with the option to have 4 different copies of a card, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're really, like, people, I mean, I don't know if you've listened to the Command Zone, like the Command Zone podcast. You know, they have episodes where they'll talk about the general heuristics of building a commander deck. You want to have this many lands. You want to make sure that, you know, you have 10 pieces of ramp, like 10 artifact ramp, or whether it's rampant growth, or like, you want to have, like, if you really break that down, like 10 out of 100 is 10% of your deck is ramp cards. If you look at like a standard deck build of a 60 card deck, you know, your mana base is the same percentage of the overall build. your ramp is the same percentage. You're like, I feel, and then of course you got all these tutors. Like if you're playing competitively or whatever, you can just tutor for the cards that you need. I feel like at a certain point, it's like, man, dealing with 100 cards is just an unnecessary pain.
Just admit you don't like Commander.
No, I do. I still like it, but I just see so many holes. I see so many holes in a format where they're like, let's add these rules. To garner this effect, and then the effect isn't being achieved. Well, so you're just playing with 100 cards.
I get what you mean, and I do kind of agree. But if I can, I'd love to throw just kind of like something out there with that. It's like I've got a couple different decks that rely on tokens specifically, and that's probably one of the bread and butter ones that you're talking about. Because you can talk about like mono green and 1/1 or 2/2 drop creatures that tap for 1 mana. It's like at this point there's hundreds. We're just like, okay, yeah, pick which one you want in the deck because they're all the exact same basically.
Mike makes this absolute.
You interrupted the boy.
I can't do this though. True Magic the Gathering.
You did that to me as well once.
Oh no, but
just let him finish his point.
A true Magic the Gathering brewer would design all the cards. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Who has the time for that? Sorry.
Who has the time to listen?
I joked about doing that. I have hand-drawn proxies, and there was at some point I will get to it. There was a nuance of one day I'm gonna draw my entire deck. I'm just gonna do it. All of my own official art. It's gonna be real bad.
Oh my god. I thought you would draw your deck as in draw cards, but you're actually talking about illustrating.
Oh yeah, illustrate the entire deck.
Excuse me.
It's gonna be so good.
Brandon, I want you to do that with your Garruk's Uprising aesthetic, please.
Oh, absolutely. If next podcast, I'll get the Garruk's Uprising, or we'll see if I can get a photo of it to be put on here for the YouTube for later, because it's it's perfection. But yeah, back to my point. I've got a couple of token decks, and obviously in all of them there is a token doubler. Because if I'm making tokens, why not make more tokens? But how the decks play out depends. Where it's just like my old Gabe that doesn't see much play, it was mostly an infinite engine. It was one that I would, and if it ever comes back to the table, will have every token double or token triple or whatever in there because it wants that the most. But then I look at something where it's like, I look at something where it's like my Jetmir, and my Jetmir wants to make tokens, but my Jetmir wants to make sure that I'm just getting the most value out of the cards that I'm playing. So I have a lot, like I would put a Mondrak in there. I think I have Parallel Lives in there, but the Parallel Lives is probably coming out now that the Mondrak is in there, because it's like, I don't need that many tokens. I need 9 creatures. That's all I need. And then realistically, the deck does what it does. So that's 2 token decks that want to functionally work in a similar way, but like, one is going to use that and be the redundancy that you're talking about. Well, one is it'll have one, but it's never going to meet that redundancy.
Yeah,
it shouldn't ever meet that.
I'm not so much saying that like the 100 card singleton is not achieving any variance. I think it does, but I think that for the most part, people, or at least like from the years of listening to the Command Zone and stuff, them talking about the general heuristics of how many pieces of ramp you need or how many pieces of how many creatures you should have. And it's like being the fact that it's, I guess, the same ratio. I mean, ramp is kind of just ramp.
Yeah.
Like artifact ramp all kind of does the same shit. It all achieves accelerating your mana base.
Well, I mean, it's ramp until it is, let's say your commander depends on ramp and it's a winning strategy. I think that's the 1 in 10 example. But aside from that, you want variances in your deck for the building. I was going to say once, Jordan Cross, he helped me with my Atla Palani deck a long time ago, and he helped me cut. I was basically
sorry. Make sure you're talking to the face. Yeah.
I had Parallel Lives and Anointed Procession in the deck, and frankly, I still only have the Anointed Procession because I don't. It helps with my curve because it's not necessarily a very green intensive deck. But having that's just one slot, because that could be like potentially game ending for the 1 turn, but that's 4 mana in Atla Palani. And the curve is pretty tremendous because you want to basically cheat out those big bitches, right? So on average, having anything that could take up space for anything from like card draw, ramp spells, anything at all, is actually more of a risk than it is a benefit for a deck that does potentially want maybe more than 2 eggs at a time. But if you're not getting max value from a single creature drop from just 1 egg, I don't think you're brewing Atla Palani very well. So it does make sense. There are a lot of variances. It does seem like a cop-out in some ways when you do have, like, we're getting pretty close to it. Like, how many damage doublers is there? To the point where anyone who's making maybe an extra or ×2 damage deck, whatever, like a Torolf, anybody at all, those cards are guaranteed to be found there, right? And that does get a bit monotonous.
Yeah. No, and I do get the point too, where just like maybe there's a reach towards a lot of people's popularity and love of 100-card formats because of the singleton aspect. And I get where I think that's kind of part of where your point's coming towards, is where singleton has basically just become a different form of, it's just bigger 60 card, because now you're just doing the same thing.
Yeah, more
it's
cluttered.
It's 4 copies of the same card, but they're different names. So is it really?
And instead of that, it still carries a lot of weight when you have that many of the one ability. It does make sense. Yeah. If you can, if it's the same concept of how many times you can ramp, how many times can you do one ability at all? Like, that's one of my favorite things to abuse recently, ever since Anacthea. Once you've had more than one, Mirari's Wake, it feels so good. It feels so good. That is the true. I feel like, I'm like a dragon sitting on a horde suddenly at this point. I'm like, I don't care if you don't, like, sure, I have 2 Grave Betrayals. Why? Because I want one to survive.
I'm planning for the future.
It doesn't matter if they compound, the abilities don't stack, but it's the ability's still there. Like having any excess of any ability at all, or one badass creature is powerful. Very, very, very powerful. So break the games when you have more than one Mondrak or more than, Panharmonicon, any of those cards that can turn a game immediately as soon as they're out.
Sideways. Oh yeah. I think a part of the issue too is just why it's happening is because of this ramp up in cards that we're seeing, where Wizards of the Coast is pumping out product and there's only so much they can do to make things different. Which is like, obviously we're going to start seeing like every set almost be clones of every other set, because it's like, this set gets to be unique. Next set gets to be unique. The next set is a clone of the first one, because these are all the things that people are playing and we want people to be excited and play them more. So we're going to print functionally the same cards with different names. It's certainly like, it certainly is turning into that percentage ratio.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe we can talk about also the banned and restricted. And it wasn't the banned and restricted announcement. It was just Magic went live this morning to do just like an hour conversation about the upcoming banned and restricted announcement on December 4th. And they basically just wanted to say like, hey, like we're going to ban things in Modern. We're going to ban things in Pioneer. I think they were just trying to like calm people down and be like, look, we're getting there. We're going to take some big swings here. And why did I bring that up? Fuck. There was the, right. They were talking about how like each format is like, they sort of want each format to feel different, like Legacy or Vintage. They don't have the same banning philosophy there, because they really don't want to just like apply the same things to each format, because they want each format to sort of be different, because different people want different things out of Magic. And if each format has a certain feel, then there's something for everybody, right? So that like, and yeah, Commander's like the one format that, of course, they weren't talking about because they don't control it, right? Wizards, they don't have control of the ban list. They don't have control of the rules committee, which, I mean, I don't even know where that's at right now, because the creator and head of the rules committee recently passed away. So who knows who's at the steering wheel? Yeah,
who knows? Unban Hull Breacher. It's time. It's
no.
time.
I think we have to step back.
Hey,
I think the other I think like the 60 card formats, the Modern, the Legacy. Well, maybe not Legacy, but like especially like I see newer formats, or like the more accessible formats needing ban lists. I think it's time that we wipe the ban list for Commander entirely. I'm sorry, what is it? Prophet of Kruphix that's been banned for forever. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn.
That one rightfully should probably stay banned. Same with Paradox Engine. I have no problem with them not seeing gameplay.
What? I've seen decks that do the exact same thing that these cards do with no issue.
But with but usually it's more than one card, right?
Well, so Paradox Engine, it was funny. The joke about Paradox Engine was that Paradox Engine goes infinite with a ham sandwich that you slap on top of it. It basically just like it was so easy to break it, and everything screwed up. Like everything went fucking infinite with that card.
Kaladesh kind of fucked up with some of those prints, but they were amazing.
What's up, Mercy? How's it going?
We talking about ban cards? No, we're talking. What the hell are we talking about? Actually, what are we
We're talking about the restricted and banned list.
Yeah. There was the talk this morning about. It does sound like they're going to ban Grief and Fury. Or at
Yeah,
least
yeah, I
Greece.
saw that.
They did.
Scamming. You know what's the problem with scamming
the
people?
scam decks,
It pisses
yeah.
people off.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's super not fun, and that's important. When you're free recurring nightmare.
Free braids. That's the one I want. That,
Free
as soon
braids.
as it is
Mono black
actually
braids too,
legally unbanned, I'm making that deck so like I've already fucked around with it a few times as a commander, but once it's legal, date night.
Yeah, I mean, I
I feel the same way.
Unleash Splinter Twin on Modern, man. Modern, like everything is better than Splinter Twin. That thing can come off the ban list for sure.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So
There's so
should
many-
Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn.
And you know what?
fine.
I respect
We're
that as
fine
well
now.
because how expensive is it? Yes, you can cheat it out. I don't care if that as an
15.
excuse. It's still a lot of mana, and that takes up a lot in the CMC of your deck. I think
Is that the one that's
tremendous?
15, but then it's reduced by the cards in your graveyard?
Anyways, yeah.
No, that's the newer one.
It's protection
No,
from
Emrakul,
everything, and it looks like that
It
weird
has
like
camping-
flying uterus.
15
bring it
drop. Can't be
sounds like that.
countered. Flying, I believe, trample. Can't remember on that. Annihilator 6.
Emrakul. We got the
Emrakul.
technology here to.
We know what we're talking about, peoples.
Is it Aeon's Torn?
Aeon's Torn. The Anus Torn.
The anus torn.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
there's
because
a
it left people
Utarian
so
term for
butthurt.
this creature that is
The Ute.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
giant
can't be
Ute.
countered. When you cast a spell, take an extra turn after this one. Flying protection from spells that are one or more colors. Annihilator 6. If it's put
Annihilator
into the
6,
graveyard.
man.
I would,
Annihilator
you know what?
6.
I put this into my Felden deck.
Yeah.
That's why it's banned, I guess, because Felden could come out turn 1, then turn 2.
Well,
you
no,
got
the reason-
Emrakul.
The reason it was banned is because when it got printed, Animar, or not when it got printed, but when Animar got printed and was in like the rotation of all play formats, it was turning into Emrakul turn 1, turn 2. And so when you're turn 1 or turn 2 taking an extra turn with an Annihilator 6 on the board, there's nothing your opponent can do about that. You can't be countered, it can't be destroyed. Like it was turning into every deck that was trying to play competitively was Animar into turn 1, turn 2.
I do recall
Emrakul.
Animar being the resulting factor, just like Paradox Engine actually had a stint for a while, and then Urza got printed.
Yeah, Urza screwed
Urza
up.
was what broke the card.
Paradox Engine paid for the sins of Urza, really. It did.
Yeah.
Like, Urza came out and, I mean, that card's
That was the
real
first
good.
time Modern Horizons.
Modern Horizons
2017
1.
or 18.
Wouldn't be 17, because 17 was when I started playing Magic. Modern Horizons 1.
20? 20?
Let's see,
20?
not
20.
I don't know.
Would have been
We're
18 or
doing-
it would have been 18 or 19.
Emrakul says Emrakul is understandable to be banned as a commander, but should be allowed in the 99 because it can be dealt with. I agree. Again, at the end of the day,
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I've been playing it as like a turn 0 discussion card for years because as soon as I pulled like my first set of Zendikar and I had an Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, I went through the realm. I fell in love with Eldrazi. I went out of my way to make sure to get an Emrakul the Aeon's Turn, played it my first game after getting it to find the table, be like, that's a banned card. And I'm like, wait, what? It's banned? Like, I get that it's strong, but it took me like 8 turns to get to
you
it.
know what?
It should be strong.
I had a moment with that, and I felt bad for even admitting this online. Channel. I played Channel a whole
Channel.
bunch. I was like, this card's amazing. And then somebody who knew their shit was like, you're being an asshole. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, that card is banned. I'm like, oh. And I was talking like 6-7 months.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was so stoked on that deck too. Yeah, it was my original Mazrick brew when I was living in Vancouver. Yeah, and I got excited again, and I didn't realize. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Mercy.
Cards are good.
Mercy, you are correct. Yeah, Turgid is another great example of that. Yeah, in the command zone. Not in the command zone, but in the 99.
Yeah, complete switch. I just wrapped my Turgid up again. I'm happy to announce that she is still scary.
Yeah.
Let's. I thought I still had that.
Turgid,
I?
God, Lord of Fright.
Hold on. Do I?
God of Fright.
Yeah. This friggin'. Okay, sorry. I gotta flip over here. This version of
Do you need to
Turgid.
adjust your interest right now in a Mr. Ian Malcolm? It's so satisfying. I'm so happy.
I
they
love-
Oh no,
did
sorry.
that.
This is Tassiger.
They did that.
This is Tassiger.
This is a banana man holding his banana, or almost.
We're bringing it back.
God damn! Somebody should please Photoshop that in there. I need him holding a fucking banana. That'd be
Well,
amazing.
I think we know what the name for this podcast is going to be.
Banana Man.
Either Banana Man or Sexy Ian.
Sexy Ian. Malcolm. Stupid sexy Flanders.
Stupid sexy Flanders.
Stupid sexy Flanders. Bring up the topics. Let's see if we have anything left to.
Well, I mean, we always have
some of Brady's blurbs here at the bottom.
Brady's blurbs.
Brady's blurbs. We don't need to include these just yet, but you know what? I would like to talk about this. I do have an idea for an episode. Let's see if anyone agrees with this. I want to reaching out to anybody, especially watching us live right now. I'm going to find some couples, okay, for a two-headed giant date night episode. Let us know how that sounds to you. We'll talk about power schemes, blah, 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 but it'll be live, and I think it sounds fun, especially when it comes to, let's say, Mercy and Jordan. Let's grab some people from the onlines. Let's, I don't know, apparently Alias V and her husband are living in Calgary now, which blows my mind because I'm a fan. So
yeah, Alias V, if you're watching this, hit us up.
Yeah, Alias V, please come hang out. I'm a fan.
Yeah, we'd love to host you.
Yeah, we'll have Dan and Kaylin. That would be spooky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to have to... Wait, you're talking about like a tournament or just like a night?
No. Just a date night.
Just date night episodes.
Live stream date night.
We could turn it into
with
our own...
spice.
We could turn it into a little series for the channel.
Oh,
just MTG date night.
We already have one. Jordan and Mert. See? Jordan and Mert.
There we go.
Both.
Yeah, showcasing
That's all we need.
the couples of YYC magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Now that this is back open, there is one thing that I want to talk about. I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I did go on a bit of a personal rant about how pissed off I was that the Netflix show, that Magic the Gathering would basically, there's a huge hubbub over Netflix picking up a show which I think is centered around Chandra, and then the Russo brothers. Well, yeah, you famously don't like Chandra, I guess. It's not going to be just Chandra. It'll probably be... Anyway.
Chandra and Gideon with surprise Jace. Blech.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
We'll
Lead them
see.
all into the blind
see.
eternity.
If it isn't Studio Mir doing the production, I have no faith. And I mean that. I have absolutely
let me
no
continue. They did pick up a studio. Well, the studio I think was famous for doing children's anime, but the art style was apparently okay. But the Russo brothers signed up on board, right? The guys who did Infinity War or whatever, like the highest paid fucking directors in the world, were like, oh, we really love Magic, we want this, and they were like, oh, we'll give this to you. And then a year and something went by where like no other news came out. Turned out that there was just like a meat grinder of hell of creative differences, and the Russo brothers being like, no, we're not doing it. If you want to do it like that, we want to do it properly. And yet again, like Matt, anytime there's like something like a movie or a show, Wizards fucks it up. Even the game Magic Legends, lasted for a week and they shut it down. They just can't seem to make a good
it's wrangling
thing with their IP.
It's that whole aspect of why can people be so toxic and blah 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 aspect. Why do people have to shame net deckers? You know, like humanity kind of sucks as a whole, and it's impossible to please. Like, let's use Avatar: Last Airbender as an example. When M. Night Shyamalan, not to knock the guy, he's done a lot of amazing movies, but fuck him for that atrocious piece of shit that literally
Holy dino.
Oh no, I got some vitriol about that movie. Like, Avatar fans.
Okay, before going on to all this, I was in the middle of a rant here. You're carrying it on. So the Russo brothers quit. Yeah. They backed off. They were like, we're fucking done because the creative differences, blah, blah, blah. And I was pretty sure that it was as forecast that it was going to get thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
And apparently the other day, the production studio came out and was just like, no. We've just been scraping the shit off the floor and trying to restructure, but we're in production. Like, it's being made. So I just wanted to like say like, yeah, it is actually happening.
You heard it here first, folks. Fuck the internet. They were wrong. You heard it here first. Netflix is still a go.
I'm really I'm so heckin' concerned. Is it? Do you know what, like, the Russo brothers? What studio is that through? Is it just them?
They're out. They quit.
They're out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes me upset.
So Studio Mir, if it's not Studio Mir ever.
Here, let me look it up. Actually, Mercy, if you want to jump into the call, just hop. Or wait, no, I don't think she can jump in this voice chat. Can you drag her into the voice chat here in the Discord?
Voice of the Blessing.
I'm gonna try and look up this.
Come to us, darling.
Magic.
Come hang out.
The
And I'm sure
Netflix.
Mercy would agree with, I think, of this one with Studio Mirror, because they've announced that they are the ones spearheading Dante's Inferno. Or not, sorry. Devil May Cry with Dante. And I'm so heckin' excited about that. That is the quality I'm talking about. They're the ones that spearheaded as well. Castlevania.
Do we even have Mercy in the Discord?
Mercy, join the
Why
Discord.
aren't you?
Yeah, Mercy, if you want opinions, you got to join our Discord.
Yeah, come on.
While you're kind of searching that up and all that stuff, I just want to throw out a little. I'm concerned about it now, because if the Russo brothers were trying to like put their foot in the sand about that and then they dipped, it has me worried that it is going to be a terrible show.
Yep.
Purely because, like when The Witcher and stuff was getting made, they tried to do a bunch of stuff that wasn't like on par with The Witcher, and Henry Cavill, the god, like king of nerds that he is, put his foot down, and people were complaining about him on set being just like, oh, he's so hard to work with. And then it comes out late after the fact that it's not that he was hard to work with, it's that because he just wanted to make sure that they weren't screwing up the script.
Yeah,
they wanted to be like, if you're going to make a show about a book and a video game that's so highly successful, make it what it is. Don't try and turn it into something else like they did with the Halo show. Still a good show, pissed all of the fans off.
Yeah, the Halo show was a dumpster fire, right?
Yeah.
Well,
okay, we'll see.
What was I talking about? Okay, so yes, no, not to sorry to interrupt.
Your angry rant.
Honestly, it does make sense. It is hard to please the masses with something as nuanced as Avatar came out. It created a loyal fan basis, but from the shit. Like the first season is rough, and then it eventually kept burgeoning, and then all of a sudden, most of the millennials are like, yeah, that's part of my Bible. So then M. Night Shyamalan shows up. You know, he takes on the rights to the movie, and he literally just turns it. It's like I'm just gonna keep shitting in the same bucket for the next week, and then when I'm ready to bathe myself, I'm just gonna put it all over my head. That's the effect that they got from that. It just
I kind of respectfully disagree with you, Brady.
Oh my God, Brandon, this is some couch shit.
Let me
sleep on the couch tonight, babe.
Let me voice this. Let me voice this for a second.
What?
The movie was terrible, but it's not because it's not because like everything going into it was terrible. It's because they tried to condense an entire season of nuances and character development and growth into like an hour-and-a-half movie. When like it like half of the stuff that added context to how things happen in the movie.
I would agree if it was like Hollywood.
And then the special effects they came up a little short, but they weren't like.
I'm sorry, the firebenders. That's
yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone in chat who knows knows Avatar is like, yeah, but the firebenders. See, like,
I haven't seen it.
Here's the problem too, especially again, it's they do this a lot where they rush productions. They did it for a series of unfortunate events with Jim Carrey. Literally, they could have honestly kept with that formula, and I would have been satisfied as a fan of that series. But unfortunately, it didn't do very well. They did the same thing for the Golden Compass. That could have been a brilliant trilogy that they messed up so hard. They should have killed Roger. They should have killed him. He should have died at the end. Just saying. And you know, like when it comes to these things that have so much influence, like anybody, like especially let's say R.A. Salvatore finally had a green light for a Drizzt series, you know, of movies.
Oh, cool.
Oh my God, can you imagine the fan expectations of that over what poor R.A. Salvatore would have to deal with? You know, dealing with like Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. Like kind of Well,
Mercy, hold on for a second. We'd love to have you, and we know that you're here, and sorry to cuck you in this way. We'll get you on for the next one. We are running a little late, and I think our boys, I think the three of us are
I need
maybe feeling the end.
I'm starting to feel achy again.
I've eaten, you guys want to know how many cough drops I've eaten since sitting here?
I mean, that's not
2,
nothing
3,
strange though.
4, 5, 6, 7. I have had 8 cough medicine drops.
That's a lot. You should probably chug a bottle of Robitussin now.
Yeah, you guys want to dance with DXM? Let's have a good time tonight. Make our own version of Quaaludes, you know? Relive the 80s, but in the now.
All right. I guess that's our show, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. There was a ton of awesome chatting going on. Thanks, guys, for being there.
Good amount of chat. It's definitely a lot more casual podcast. Forgive us. We're doing our best here with the energy that we have.
Also, shout out to Drake, Thubprint. Man,
sexy man.
I was sick on the couch today, and I was watching a bunch of your videos. It is just so strangely like ASMR satisfying watching you fucking tear things apart. It is. If you guys want to check out his channel, I mean, I think
You can tear me apart.
he can tear me apart. Oh, okay. And that's our show.
And that's our show.
And that's our Thanks for hanging out. Rogue's Passage Podcast. I believe this was episode 12.
Yes.
I have been one of your hosts, Tanner Cherry.
I'm Brady Magpie. Thank you so much.
And I'm Brando the Firestarter. Watch your couches. They will be set ablaze very soon. That didn't make sense.
All right. I will see you guys. We will see you guys in the next episode. Now I go to touch the camera. And now I go to touch the camera. Yes.